Hello, I'm Duncan Baker-Brown and I'm standing in the waste house at long last. Here we are after not that long on site, 6 months on site, and I'm actually in a room in the which is going to be the one of the classrooms of the waste house. And I just wanted to tell you what the waste house is made of. Over here you can see we've got video cassettes and DVDs that we're using this sort of plastic stuff as insulation. Most new buildings have plastic as insulation, polystyrene or polyurethane, and some of this stuff isn't far off that in terms of the nature of the material, what it's like, how it performs. So these are walls full of these videos and cassettes. This is a column, and this column's made out of salvaged ply and lots of little bits of timber in there, the sort of bits of timber that you get in a skip, discarded in a skip. Over here we've got a chalk wall, and that was chalk that we got that was going to go to a landfill site. I was actually talking to a builder about while I was picking up some salvaged timber that we use for the roof trusses here, and I said, James, you don't happen to have 12 tons of chalk? He said, yeah, I do. We just dug some trenches for foundations today on a site in Sussex, and it's going to go to landfill tomorrow, but we diverted the lorry and here it is, this lovely wall. This is 10 tons of chalk. Here we got the amazing toothbrushes. We got them down there and in this wall, and we got 21,000 toothbrushes. And these toothbrushes were only ever used once, most of these, because these are toothbrushes that you get given when you fly on a jet plane. So we got them from Gatwick Airport, and we got them in one hit. We got some toothbrushes down there that school kids gave us as well. Whenever they came to visit this house, they donated used toothbrushes. These vinyl banners here on the inside of the house, mainly upstairs actually, we've got to have something called a vapor control layer. This isn't the finish, but this is behind the finish in the wall. Anyway, normally you have to buy a material and it's expensive. These old banners, you can see them in cities all the time advertising arts festivals or sports festivals. Their problem is they always have dates on them, so they don't last very long and they get thrown away. And they get thrown away because there are brass eyelets in them. Now if you take those brass eyelets off them, you can recycle them. Right above me is one of the biggest beams in the whole house, and this together with the rest of the structure was made by students from City College in the spring. And if you look, you can see there's a lot of bolts in that beam, and the reason there are a lot of bolts is because we don't know how strong second-hand material is, and this is one thing that slightly took us by surprise. If you use second-hand timber, you don't know how strong it is. Therefore, the structural engineer has had to overcompensate and assume all the timber we're using is the weakest type of timber. On this wall, we've filled it with, believe it or not, wallpaper. Kat Fletcher, who's sourced most of our waste material, unconventional waste material, the stuff you normally throw away from out of your house. She found 1,000 rolls, more like, of wallpaper, and we've used it here as insulation again. Here it is stacked, and you'll see here what we're having is these vision panels that we're cutting in the walls, so when the house is complete you'll still be able to see what's in the walls. Here we are upstairs in the main space of the waste house, this beautiful vaulted what we research and workshop. People make things here. Here again we've got waste insulation, but we've broken up and we're going to fill that up, so that is wall insulation. These battens we've actually sawn and made. This is remnants from this year's student graduation pavilion that was very successful. That had to be taken down again, and we've cut it up and used it in the waste house, or a lot of it. Here we have more of the banners. The upstairs here is more progressed than downstairs, so you've got these battens. Now this creates a zone here where we can put wiring, and in a week or so's time we're going to have City College's electricians here wiring up the house. This is going to be a very low energy eco house, so we need contemporary windows. Up with the roof lights, we've got we're very lucky here, we've got 3 Velux roof lights that are not even on the market yet. So they're treble glazed roof lights, and somehow they let in 20% more light than normal for the area of roof light. They've also got external shading and internal blinds, so we can black out up here if we want. Here in the waste house we've got 2 tons of arms and legs, denim arms and legs, that we're using for insulation, and I'm really hopeful that this wall will perform well, because you can actually buy denim insulation, but it's reprocessed. This is the main functional space of the waste house. It's going to stay open plan like this, lovely big volume, and what we're going to do here is carry on designing with waste material. We'll do that with students, school children, we'll do that carrying on with City College, with Mears apprentices, local schools. So we've had nearly 700 people involved with the waste house today. This main first floor room on the waste house is as far as my vision for it's concerned, this is where school children, students and people in the design industries can come together and discuss and make stuff made out of other people's waste. So it's a real sort of laboratory, and a fully accessible laboratory. You will not need 3 A-star A-levels to get into this building.